great Monday and welcome to the Coach Show, where women life and business coaches come to be educated, equipped, and empowered to coach with confidence and lead with transformational power. Join me, Coach P, right here on the Life and Business Coach campus every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to package your brilliance, optimize your performance, and bring harmony to your life. Well, great day. Equipped, empowered, poised, and positioned to move those who are ready to move is my ultimate mission. I wake up every day, typically with a smile on my face, determined to make a difference in my assigned place. You see, my purpose, my passion, and my focus is to take you, each one of you, from where you are to where you want to be. I am Pamela Lue-Hing, better known as Coach P, and I welcome you to the Coach Show. And here on the Coach Show, we help you discover your gifts, develop your gifts, and then give them away every single day. So if that's what you want to do, then hang out with us every single Monday on the Coach Show. The Coach Show is sponsored by the Life and Business Coach Campus. Ladies, if you have not, coaches out there, women coaches out there, if you have not joined the Life and Business Coach Campus, you got to join the campus, okay? That's where the education is going on, the support is happening, everything that you need to do what you need to do in your business and even in your life is there. So hello. Who is saying hello to me this morning? Hello, great day to you. Great day. Please do put your name in chat because as you see, it says Facebook user. I'd love to be able to call your name. So please definitely share it with us there. So again, we're sponsored by the Life and Business Coach Campus, and I would like for you to like, share, and comment. Talk back to me if you have a question, if you have some insights, if you want to add to what I'm saying. Please do share in comments. Thank you so much for that. Last week, we talked about your clients are waiting for you on the topic of branding, right? What does it take to establish your brand? Because in essence, your clients are waiting for you, but they don't know that you're there. They may not know that you're there if our brand is not fully established. And so over the last few weeks, that's what we've been talking about. Your brand is so much more than the colors and the fonts. I mentioned that on last week. I also talked about your personal brand and it being built upon your skills, your passions, your values, and beliefs. So if you missed last week's segment, then go on over and join the Life and Business Coach Campus because it's housed right there. The bottom line is this: you must know yourself if you want to build a strong brand. And your brand is so much more than, again, the fonts and colors. It's a feeling. Your brand sends a message. So the question is, ladies out there, and even those who are entrepreneurs, even men, we're inviting you into the conversation as well. And that is, what does your brand say about you? Hello there. It's Calvin Duncan. Mr. Duncan, thank you so much for joining us. Hi from Charlotte, North Carolina. I love my other home. That's my home away from home, Calvin, Charlotte, North Carolina. I look forward to being there in just a bit, probably about a month or so. So thank you for joining us today. So again, as we talk about brand, that's what it's all about. It's the message. What message are we sending? So we've got to get really clear on that message. And ladies and gentlemen out there, the bottom line is it's all about that influence, right? The brand, the message, the influence, how you feel about you. So again, if you missed last week, go back and listen because that's what we talked about. Today's topic, however, is on the ultimate goal of your brand. So I'm going to give you 5 questions that you need to ask yourself to make sure that your brand is solid, that it's giving the message that you need to give in order to reach the clients that you need to reach. So the bottom line is we can't serve everyone, can we? We cannot serve everyone, even though we'd like to say, oh, wow, my business or my product, my services are for everyone. That's a great thought in theory. However, will that truly attract the ideal client who is going to truly resonate with your message, right? And so we've got to make sure that we identify the core of that demographic that will resonate deeply with you, your brand, and what you offer. Your target audience is really where we're headed with this. Okay, so I'm going to give you five questions to tune in. And so grab your paper and pen. Go ahead. I'll wait for just a second if you don't already have it. All right, three, two, one. All right, question number one. Hello, if you're just joining us, go ahead and put your name in comments. I would love to say hello. Uh, who can I most effectively help? That's the very first question I want you to ask yourself today. Even if you feel like, yes, my brand is strong, then I want you to utilize these questions as a checkpoint, as a checkup. How am I doing with telling my message? Is my message on the mark? Is it reaching my target audience? And so this is the very first question that you will want to ask yourself. Who can I most effectively help? The second question is, who will benefit most from my skill set and knowledge? Who will benefit most from my skill set and knowledge? What would you say? Please put it in comments. If you're watching the replay, I would invite you to put that in comments. Okay. So the first question again is, who can I most effectively help? And then who will benefit most from my skill set and knowledge? Question number three, who am I most passionate about serving? So who keeps you up at night? Or when you see it, you're like, wow, I really have something that could help them. I really have a good solution for their problem, for their pain point, for what they want to see happen. I have the expertise. I have the knowledge. I have the heart to do it. So where is your heart today? Where's your heart? Where is it singing? Where is it coming alive? That's that thing that you're most passionate about. Okay? That's that thing that ignites you. That's the thing that excites you. Who am I most passionate about? What am I most passionate about? And then who am I most passionate about when I see that ideal client? I love it. Thank you, Dr. Sheila. Thank you for joining us today. Faith-based and social organizations. That is Dr. Sheila's focus. That's who she's passionate about. And that is awesome, Dr. Sheila. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Dr. Sheila, even in the faith-based and social organizations, even drilling deeper than even that, right? If those are your focus areas, then we've got to go to the next level and say, within that demographic, who will resonate most with you and your brand? So, what types of social organizations, faith-based organizations, nonprofits, women focus, men focus, a combination of the two? What is or who will resonate most with you, your messaging, and your brand? Okay, so again, we're going to drill deeper. So you've identified the organizations, which is awesome. That's awesome. So now we're going to go a little bit deeper than that. And you may already know. So if you already know, go ahead and put it in comments. Who drives you? Who is your message and your solution for? And then last but not least, describe them. So that's exactly what we just talked about. So that's the final question number 5. And that is, describe what that ideal client looks like. Okay. So that is the persona. Okay. Developing the persona. Okay, excellent. I love it. So I think this is Sheila, Dr. Sheila. She says leaders will resonate most. I focus on capacity building. Oh, that's interesting, Dr. Sheila. That is interesting. So when you say capacity building, I would love to hear more about that. So can you tell us a little bit more, perhaps in comments? Maybe we can share a little bit more as we talk about capacity building. You said leaders will resonate most. So when we say leaders, do we mean the C-suite leaders in those organizations, or are we talking about the mid management? The mid management, of course, is between the C-suite the CEOs, CFOs, and the people who really get the job done, right? That manager, that mid-level that acts as the liaison to carry out the vision, but they're able to articulate to the people who've got to get it done exactly what needs to be done, to work with them, to get to know them, to be leaders amongst them, means also to be observant, of course, but to show them how the work is to be done, right? So, Dr. Sheila, if you could just share a little bit about that capacity building, I focus on capacity building. I would love to hear more about that. So let me review the 5 questions and then I'll talk about persona because that's where we were in terms of how they look. So the first question again is, who can I most effectively help? So we're talking about, if you're just joining me today, we're talking about your brand messaging, your focus with building your brand. Okay. So who can I most effectively help? Number 2 is, who will benefit most from my skill set and knowledge? How will they benefit? Who am I most passionate about serving? And I love it. Dr. Sheila came in and she talked about leadership. She talked about working with um, faith-based. She said faith-based and social organizations. And then within that, those faith-based and social organizations, she talked about working with the leaders in those entities, in those organizations. And then specifically, she said, I focus on capacity building with those leaders. And then I asked Dr. Sheila to come back and tell us a little bit more about those leaders, the capacity building. She says, yes, capacity diminished during the pandemic working from home. As we come out, their strengths and ideas are different. Particularly in the newer generations. Oh my goodness, that is an excellent, timely topic, Dr. Sheila. Excellent. Wow, that is incredible. Would love to engage with you more about that. That is so needed, so needed. So when you go into those organizations, Dr. Sheila, are you coaching them? Are you consulting with them? Exactly how are you serving them? Do you do workshops? Please do share that in comments. And I love it. Calvin Duncan out of Charlotte, North Carolina, one of my favorite places. People from underdeveloped communities. Awesome, awesome. So, Calvin, if you can put in comments, if you're still with us, when we talk about people from underdeveloped communities, what types of people, who in those communities? Would it be families? Is it children? And then in what perspective do we work with them? Okay, in what perspective? From what perspective? Okay, so again, I gave you 5 questions today, and I think we were on number 3. Who am I most passionate about serving? And then number 4 was, who will resonate most with me and my brand? And so, Calvin, that was the question that I just asked. Drilling deeper. Okay, underserved communities. Who in those communities? And then how do you serve them? Okay, so if you'd like to share that in comments, that would be great. And then what does my ideal client look like? So that leads us into persona. So over the next few minutes or so, I'm going to share with you persona, how to clearly define that ideal client. Okay, so the first area, and I just labeled them A, B, and C under what does my ideal client look like? So demographics, how old are they? Male, female, single, married? What's their level of education? What career are they in? How much do they make? Okay, so that's demographics. Okay, so educational level, socioeconomic status. Okay, I love it. Let's see. All right. So Dr. Sheila says, I serve through training and development. I consult. Awesome. Currently writing a book to accompany the training. Ooh, that is juicy. Dr. Sheila, that is juicy. I love it, love it, love it. So you're doing, currently writing a book. You got to join us. If you're not on the campus, Dr. Sheila, which I believe you are, the Life and Business Coach campus, come on over and join us on the campus to hear more about that. And when you get ready to launch that book, let me know. We'll have you on the show. All right. I'd love to celebrate you, first of all, but then let people know about your message and then help you launch that book. All right. So please let us know. And then Calvin said that he works with youth and young adults. Wow, that's awesome, Calvin. So much needed, much needed. Can you please share, Calvin, what do you do? How do you service those youth and young adults? Okay. How do you service them? Go ahead and put that in comments for us. So again, demographics. I love it. Dr. Sheila and Calvin, y'all making my day. Thank you for talking back to me and sharing today. And I pray that some of what I've said can inspire you and keep you going and drilling deeper into your brand. It sounds like both of you have established brands and you are building and growing in those areas. So that's awesome. And then B, what are the hopes and dreams? What are their hopes and dreams? What do they want their future to look like? What are their goals? So I love it, Dr. Calvin. I've made you Dr. Calvin. Calvin, you said that you work with young adults, right? You work with young adults and youth, right? So you work with youth and young adults. So then I would ask you, what do they want their future to look like? What are their goals? What are their aspirations? So hopes and dreams. And then lastly, the challenges. What obstacles do they face? Why haven't they been able to reach their goals? Okay, so what obstacles do they face? And that's huge, of course, with our youth, especially today, right? What obstacles are they facing? Social media, the bullying. And I would even add watering down of values, core values. It's almost as if they're establishing new values. But there's something to be said about old school values, right? Something to be said about it. Just had to throw my 2 cents in there, Calvin. I had to throw it in there. Why haven't they been able to reach their goals? Okay. So those are 3 areas that you want to take a look at as you determine what your ideal client looks like. So paint a vision, give them a name, give him or her a name or them a name, right? Give them names and paint a picture of what they do on a daily basis. With whom do they engage? Who's in their inner circles? So now we're talking about psychographics, their lifestyles. Do they exercise, take care of their bodies? Are they health conscious? Okay, so that is how we determine our ideal target audience, our ideal clients. Okay, excellent. I love it. Okay, let me go back to comments. Calvin, I teach them to uncover their inner messages. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Calvin, that's juicy. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love working with you. Challenges, limited beliefs, generational curses. That's huge. That's huge. You know, Calvin, I work with the Young Black Leadership Alliance there in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going totally off script right now, but I have to take advantage of this moment since I have you here, Calvin. And I don't know if you know John and Tammy Martin there in Charlotte, again, the Young Black Leadership Alliance. And their programs primarily focus on building young Black leaders, male and female leaders. And so not necessarily those students who are challenged and who need more support, right? So yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. And so I can see where your training could go for either, right? That young person who has some goals, who has ambition, who has great, and may not even have a great support system, but you can tell that they want to make it happen, right? That inner drive is there to make it happen. And so I can see even where your topics of focus would be beneficial for them, because even at that level, sometimes the limiting beliefs come into play. Sometimes we're still dealing with generational curses. I'm one of them. I'm a product of that. Okay, and so I get that, and not having all the support that you need to do and go where God is calling you to go, right? But I can also see the work that you do in servicing those who don't have those resources, those who don't have a Calvin in their lives, right? To help them. Maybe they can't see it for themselves right now. So is that your ideal audience is where I'm going with that question. Is that your ideal audience where they can't really see for themselves, but you see it in them. You see it in them, but they can't see it for themselves. So that's a little bit different again than the extreme of, two different ends of the spectrum. Those who are have that drive, they're gonna do it, they're gonna go anyway, they're gonna make it happen, but they're still, of course, we gotta always work on how we're thinking, how we're believing in ourselves, our confidence levels, and things like that. Even at, when you're a driver, right? And then working through generational curses, all of us, no matter what area, socioeconomic status you come from, all of us deal with that, right? Or is it that person who really can't, that youth who really they're struggling just to see the next second? Okay, so who is that? I love it. And then I in the campus now? I'm not sure if the difference is in platform. Okay, so Dr. Sheila is give me your last name. I think it's I can't remember the last name. I believe you are, but if not, we'll connect you. Okay, we'll get you in there. But put your last name in comments for me. And then Calvin, that sounds very intriguing. I'm in Greensboro. Oh, okay. Go ahead and go to, I think it's ybla.com. Okay, but getting very clear, Calvin, on again who you're focused on. Who is God calling you truly to serve? Because it's a difference, right? It's a difference in that youth, and even in that person who really can't see it for themselves. It takes different tools and different skill sets. It takes a certain passion to work with people who have a hard time seeing it for themselves versus working with someone who, they say, I think I can do that. You hear the inner drive. You hear something extra with that person, right? There's something about them, and you can see them working. Their work ethic, their focus is a little different than the person who says, you know what, it's a different energy. Well, nah, I can't ever do that. No, I don't. Do you see the difference, right? Versus someone who says, you know what, I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna try that. So, who is it, Calvin, that you're serving? All right, Gothard. Yes, Sheila Gothard. Yes, I believe you are, Sheila. I'm gonna check on the campus. If not, then I will make sure that you get on, but I'm pretty sure you're on the campus, Sheila. But thank you. Yes. And Sheila, I'm going to send you a private DM. I would love for you to join. I'm going to give you a gift. Okay. Today, I'm going to not ask, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and DM you, and I want to invite you for a, um, a session. I'm going to invite you to audit a session. I lead a phenomenal group on Saturday mornings, the Coach Mastermind Network, and you would be awesome. And I think that we would be blessed by you. You'd be blessed by being in the midst of so many dynamic women. So I'm going to send that to you, and you just let me know. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. And then Calvin says, I'm interested in helping those who need it most. I was that struggling kid. The Calvin, so that struggling, okay, gotcha. What a gift. That's a gift. That's a passion. That's something that's an experience that you had that you're saying, okay, I have made it over on the other side and I want to reach back and I want to help those who are like me. That is so powerful, Calvin. That is so very powerful. And so, gosh, I could talk to you all day about that. That is so awesome. And Sheila says, that is truly a gift. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Dr. Sheila. I definitely am going to, I'll DM you right after we finish here today. But Calvin, how awesome is that? Truly needed today. Truly needed. So hopefully I've said something today that has resonated with both you, Dr. Sheila, as well as Calvin. And I commend you both because you're walking in your purpose. And see, that's what it's all about. So as we talk about brand, as I wrap this session up today, that brand is that influence. So what influence are we having with those who we're called to serve? What's our influence? What's our presence? How do we show up for those who we're called to serve, so that our message is resonating with them. So we attract more people like them, the ideal target audience. Okay. So as you are building out, again, I will recap one more time in terms of the questions that you want to ask yourself and drill deep. So it's more than just, okay, I'm going to work with X population, but exactly who in that population am I working with, right? Drill deep, build a picture, help us visualize, help yourself visualize who that kid, who that youth, who that young adult is. Okay. I love it. Sheila Gothard. Perfect, Sheila. Thank you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Excellent. I can't wait to have you be with us. That is so incredible. So, again, as we're building our brand, ask yourself these 5 questions. Who can I most effectively help? 2, who benefit most from my skill set and knowledge? 3, who am I most passionate about serving? 4, who will resonate most with me and my brand? And 5, what does my ideal client look like? Remembering the ABCs, the demographics, how old they are, male, female, single, so forth and so on. And then their psychographics. How do they think? What do they think about on a daily basis? Write it out. So, Calvin, you were once that struggling kid. Write it out. And I would also encourage you to do some surveys, perhaps, in terms of what those needs might be from someone who was in your shoes. Because now, today is a little different, right, Calvin, from when you grew up. So, what might the youth be facing today that we didn't face then, or that you didn't face? I'm putting you in my age category. I shouldn't do that. But what, it's different because, again, you're older, right? You're older version of that incredible young man who you once were. You're just an older version of that. And you figured it out. And that passion is to help someone else. So what were you thinking? What was the lifestyle like? What were your daily habits? Okay. So what do you want for your future? And what do they want their future to look like? What are their goals? Maybe they don't have any goals. Is that your ideal target audience, Calvin? And then see, what obstacles do they face? Why haven't they been able to reach their goals? Very, very important to ask that question. So I would like to invite you to be with me on next week. And next week, we're going to talk about launching your brand. So we talked about building your brand, creating that influence with your ideal audience. Next week, we're going to talk about launching that brand. What does that look like? Okay. And then I want to invite all of you, including some great men, Calvin, if you'd like to join. We are having a one-day challenge, September 29th. That's next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I want you to join me for 90 minutes of power in the one-day challenge. This is the 4th quarter of the year, 2022. Y'all, I just said Happy New Year to you for 2022. Now I'm saying this is the 4th quarter of 2022. I want you to join me for a one-day challenge next Thursday. Be on the lookout for registration. Registration will be required. It's totally free to come in. If you like what you heard today, then come on back, because we're going to drill deep and we're going to make the 4th quarter. I don't care what happened during the rest of this year. We're going to make the 4th quarter count. If it was already great, we're going to take it to the next level to make sure that you hit the goals that you set out for at the beginning of this year. Okay. So again, mark your calendar, September 29th, next Thursday, the one-day challenge. You got to be in the house in order to get it. All right. We have one more comment. I'm going to cyberbullying. Oh, yes, Calvin. Much, much, much needed. Much needed. Excellent. Keep doing the work that you're doing, Calvin Duncan, because you are making a difference. With your focus, with your passion, you're making a difference, and our youth need you. So thank you so much for showing up and being here today. Dr. Sheila Gothard, thank you for being here today. And again, I love it. Dr. Sheila has followed on my newly branded, yay, IG. This is to keep it separate from my personal IG. Yep, got it. I will do that as well. And everyone else, follow Dr. Sheila, her IG at Gothard Impact Leadership. Okay. And Calvin, why don't you put your, if you have IG account, put yours. I invite you to put yours as well. And then Joel is here today. Love the value here. Thank you, Joel. I will try Adeleke, I believe. But love the value here. Thank you, Joel, for being here today. Thank you so very much. So again, join me. If you like what you heard today, join me and look for the links. Okay, I'll be back to you. We'll, look for the registration link. It will be coming out later this week so that you can get registered for the one-day challenge going down on September 29th, next Thursday, 7 p.m. So thank you so much. Make it a great day, great week, and go build your brand to serve those who you're called to serve. God bless you. Make it a great one.